What's up guys, I'm Joel Dodge, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you why you should be using a wet dry rig. Let's get into it. So guys, this is something that I've been doing for probably the past 2 months now, and it's like completely changed my mindset on how to set up patches and just guitar rigs in general. And for those of you who watched the HX Stomp versus Bias Effects video and you wanted to know what I was using in that video, I was using something very similar to what I'm showing you today. Pretty much almost exactly the same. I think the only thing I've changed in this is I've changed to a different compressor that I think I like how it sounds a little better. But everything else is what you heard in that video. So guys, to help me explain what a wet dry rig is, we're actually just gonna hop into Bias Effects. So guys, this is the rig. This is my wet dry rig that I've been using. And I actually titled it JD YouTube Wet Dry and added it to Tone Cloud. So if you want to actually use this actual rig the way I have it set up, you can download it from the Tone Cloud. Just search JD YouTube and it should be the first thing you see. And it's very similar to rigs I've built in the past on the channel. These are my two favorite amps to use, the matchless and the orange style amps. I always like to leave the clone drive, the clone style pedal on. I use the SAB as my second level of drive, and this mouse drive is actually just there for fun. It's supposed to be a rat style pedal, and it's something that they've just recently added. Maybe not that recent, it's been a couple months, maybe 2 months. Ever since they added it, I've been having it on my board just to throw on occasionally when I want to have a good time. I don't know, man. I've always had like a soft spot for rats, and I actually don't use them a lot when I play. I just throw it on when I want that kind of classic sound and just to have a good time. I don't know. Really fun pedal. But this is the part that I want to talk to you guys about today. Here at the end of my signal chain, what I did with my delays and reverbs. And so just to explain what a wet dry path is, or wet dry rig is, it's basically when you have two different amps and you have one that is getting all the delays and reverbs and the other one is getting none. And basically what happens is it allows one of your guitar signals to keep all its clarity and to not get muddied up at all, so you keep all of the definition of your guitar, like what you're playing, but then the other is receiving all that delay and reverb and giving you the ambience and the feel and the vibe that you get from delays and reverbs, but because they're two separate amps, it allows you to keep the clarity of your tone intact. Unless you have two amps and some kind of way to split your guitar signal, it's kind of hard to do in the real world, which is why I'd never done it before. But lately I've been watching this channel called That Pedal Show, and if you don't watch them, you definitely should. I mean, they teach so much about guitars, amps, pedals. It's just a great show. You should definitely watch it. I'll have it linked in the card up above. And that's where I got this idea from. But basically, it's something that I had never done because I had never had a setup where I could use two amps before. So I've always just kind of been of the mindset that I just put it in my signal path and send the delays and reverbs just like everything else. But what's so cool with Bias Effects and guitar modeling stuff is that you can make these setups without having to buy two amps, and you can just do it however you want. After learning about wet dry rigs, I've been experimenting with a handful of different things, and this is the setup that I have liked the most at this point. So I've actually enjoyed putting this EQ right here, and the reason for that is it combines the signals and then splits again. So both these signals have the mixture of these amps, and I liked how that sounds rather than just like splitting it like this, where one amp has no delay and reverb and the other one has all of it. And of course that's how you do it. That's more similar to how you would do this in real life. But to me, putting this right here and allowing those amp sounds to mix before it gets into delay and reverb, I thought was really cool. But you can see here the path splits again, and you get this really cool effect. So guys, what I've done here is I've made two patches. One is wet only. It combines the signals and puts delay and reverb on both right and left. But then I have the one that I was just showing you guys, the wet dry rig. So everything else about these is exactly the same, and I'm just gonna let you hear the difference between what a wet dry sounds like and what just a normal delay and reverb to both sides sounds like. But yeah, I don't know how much of that you guys can hear coming through, but man, to me, it's like such a big difference because you just retain all of the clarity of what you're doing on the guitar when you have this wet dry rig, you know? A couple other things that I think are worth mentioning about the wet dry rigs is, first off, when you're setting your delay and reverb settings, you're gonna wanna set them quite a bit higher than you normally would, because it's only affecting half your signal. This volume is almost basically maxed out for the delay effect, and then same with the reverb. I have it way higher. Normally I would keep my reverbs probably around 2.5 or something, but I put them significantly higher because it's only affecting half of the signal. So you're essentially getting half of what you would normally get from the delay or the reverb. The other thing that's worth knowing is that when you go to the mixer at the very end, you can actually pan these so that you, say if you wanted to hear one only in your right and one only in your left, you can do that also. So the delays and reverbs are only in my right side now. So if you wanted to record it like that, you could do that. Personally, I like combining them at this point so that it just sounds like one signal that has the clarity and the delay and reverb all baked into one track. But you can mess with this if you wanted to maybe get some other kind of sound out of it. I actually use this specific setup for all the electric guitar parts in When Never Comes, and used a very similar setup also in the HX Stomp versus Bias Effects 2 video. But guys, this is something I've really been enjoying, and I wish I had started doing sooner, to be honest, because I feel like it adds so much to your tone and your clarity while you're playing. So anyway, but I hope you guys will check it out. You can actually go download this specific patch if you want. Just look up JD YouTube in the tone cloud, and yeah, but that's it for this video. As always, die empty. I'll catch you in the next one.